This sainthood bestowed on Ryan by Samson is a result from being mired in poetry, community, and unionizing work. I'm so happy for us that we will get to hear Ryan's work tonight.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Mike. That was really, really nice. It's really good to be here. I'm going to start with a poem that I wrote after. I'm a big fan of Maggid Zaher. And last year, after reading Thank You for the Window Office about 15 times, spending a day talking to Maggid, I wrote this poem. Poem after Maggid Zaher. We must be the world's cop, my dentist tells me, and begins to drill, knowing it's a poem. One person to a bench won't help me look at a face. Each line is a flowering truth under the skin. Jesus, I'm anxious. Something good might happen in a tradition of arrogant bullshit. Your lover's at least 2 punching bags. Even John Ashbery needs a blurb. So I'm going to read, I had a shit ton of things to read. 5 hours. This book called Value Plus just came out. I'll read a little bit from that and a little bit from newer things. The book starts with an epigraph from my friend Brandon Holmquist from a poem called Cervantes Against the Planet Mercury. There are whole days when I only talk to people when money is exchanging hands. And I simply will not believe this means nothing. If the word semiotic means anything, this means something. No libs. South Broad's Value Plus is closing. Everything must go till day's reflection is night's. Your passing face barters for itself against the blackness pulling through us. Threads. Kids from South Philly High walk by, their shithole of a school on their shoulders, not anyone's. Let the Asians and blacks have at each other, say the old whites, shrugging themselves off to the young whites in their patient boss worship that builds and builds a box to be gutted between Dollar Tree and Foot Locker. Kids are actually small, smelly goats. Terry Eagleton, the British critic, reminds us Americans. I look out of my box. No parade of Marxist profs. I would like to be open. Hey, if Northern Liberties on the other side of town burns to the ground, I'm fine with that, so long as we plant a giant sign in the middle of all the smoking rubble. America's first suburb. Sure, crumb cake from Kaplan's and coffee walking around the Ortley Brewery ruins and jazz that came from the corner of it. I'll sell you the postcards. I'm selling them right now, in fact, for nothing. But that giant sign, I'll especially sell you. Dirt cheap, and we'll make it pretty. Art is experience. In passing, John calls John Dewey J-Do, which makes everything infinitely more watchable. Go phase like a bus. Half hours, half flowers. The Value Plus for flip-flops and a new notebook. Marble like my stoop. I stand on a book. Its title, Value Plus, arrived home on a sticker, yellow, with a price, $1, a holler. After that, we're free to have our hazards. Love ages me, but not the 2 people were murdered a half block from me this week. The barista lays down a napkin and spoon, even when you're just getting it to go. Front to back, 3 years ago, a night this November, I tore through Splay Anthem while this place was called something else, and I thought I felt the whole world sail through a map in my chest, knocked on wood, a lesson. Bare hands, no lie. You'll never understand yourself in isolation. A a hair on your selfish city's chest, you will mistake selfishness for independence again. Again, you will catch yourself being a Republican to yourself. If I'm beaten, who can tell? Not me anymore. Not me anymore. Thank you, Greg Ben, for the original Olympia beer.
Cheers, man. Welcome to Washington.
Met Greg in Philadelphia several years ago. What are you swinging at? On my way to Fergie's, I actually passed Fergie, the owner, tying a balloon to a lamppost on 10th Street. It's a boy, it says, bobbing in the wind, and then, oh shit, a student. Brian, I think. Hey, Mr. X, he says, and I wave and think, good kid, like I'm old and can say. And the walk goes on as weeds in the fall it is. Cracks caught in a nearest parked car. Illegally, it feels. It all goes. It all goes. I know no one who works for the parking authority, and that makes me less of a person, which is fine. I appear closer than I actually am, and wake up the yellow floor in a bookstore. Only $2.50 for a friend to be named. A no-hitter off Dolph's kitchen radio still ringing through me. A text from Dan. Wiffle ball? The weather's dumpstered a curve in the dirt, meaning my mind's gone behind Acme, aims for the police station where we play. What if we grew up in a state of walls, which were all the streets of this city, mapped in our brains, and now we know how to get anywhere there's to go, so we get bored, sad, and write down something like, grid like a crib to contain the unpredictable, and watch the back of a trash truck eat two big sofas. One solid meal after another is how we live this country, we being whatever it is. I order a burger at Fergie's, and there's Fergie. The man is everywhere. And while wins at the microphone telling us about chinaberry trees in Austin, Texas, how they grew on her. She grows on us. Poetry on poets, drinking this drink. Then some of us fight about how to live in a fucked world, and I lean back against the wall. I don't know how to live, I whisper to Wah, who laughs in half the question, and I'm here for a minute. Business reply mail. My own skin till the Nietzsche wears off. Breakfast alone reflected in bottle of Bordeaux snagged the night before undrunk out of a reading with friends. In background, a worry of row homes the body aches out of. High on the place, lives in the mouth, gets me out of the house. Today's pages are milk over coffee down the street. November, the wind makes me weak. I blow away like a leaf. Suicidal thing to say always, it'll be like this. The money to make it so, squatting all around. Am I tired of carrying out a prescribed social function for a world I don't believe in? Is it time to bulldoze the tent? I mean, what all are you, if more than mind and taxes? A state like Texas, a little United States with a chimney, General Assembly. It's hard to make a bedroom too empty, yet hard to fill yourself with the absence of a public while you are that absence. A number the other day in a notebook. Easy to love all the whack jobs from a distance. Your mother, your father, your brother, your body, more foreign than I think, and out of sorts, push the thought, a whole feeling of what threads form a bus through a life, bus that hangs from the noisy people I march with, a thread coming home to a holler not pissed on, a bus, the thing inside, out there, demands nothing, no pit bull, for example, hung dead on the door to the moneyed white bar, squatting in a poor black pocket of the city itself.